welcome to Comfy Cozy Up. So I'm excited to talk about March. March was a good month in reading. So we had 8 books. 8 books. I stick to the theme of March Mystery Madness. Let me talk. And so I read a lot of mystery, thriller, psychological suspense, so overall I was so happy. I did have some series in this and a popular book, all of that. So let's start with the 2 books I don't have with me. One I did read ebook. It was an arc that I got. Never read it before the release date, but that's okay. That was Junie. Junie is an author I'm not familiar with. I don't know if this is her debut, but this is Erin Crosby Esquine. So I'll put a book here. So this Junie is a historical fiction set in slavery days. This is a young teenage girl whose sister passed away, so she's haunting her and she is asking her to do things. And as she's doing it, she's discovering things about her family, about her sister that she didn't know, about the people who own her. And in this case, she's also have a bond, a friendship with the slave owner's daughter. And in this story, things escalated as the daughter becomes a pawn in this idea of your family broke and you got to marry out in order to save the family. So it is an intense story. It has about survival, as the main character made a decision because of things that were happening that she needs to get away. She needs to run away. And so you're following how is she going to do this, the people around her, the things that were happening in the midst of her trying to get away. What she did have in this is she do have family to think of, and she wanted them in terms of getting away with her. But in the story, you see how is that not possible. There's things in this book that I shouldn't have laughed about, but I did. The wife. Slave owner, things were happening and I'm like, oh man, it just shows the mentality that of people then, and I absolutely believe that's probably a reaction you will get from certain people, but at the same time it is intense. The storyline is a little bit on the hard to swallow things that were happening, but she did not make it so brutal that you can't read it, that you will be so like, oh my god, because I know that subject can be difficult for some people to read, but it wasn't that for me. I do like that the author did get inspiration from her actual great grandmother who did escape and live in a town that was named after her. I love that bits and pieces that you get to learn about her story, but again, this is not really the same exact thing that happened to her great-grandmother, but it's an inspirational story that she used to write this. Now let's talk about the other book that I don't have, which is the Blue Hours. And this book is Paula Hawkins' latest release. Now this book came out back in December or before that, I can't remember, but I know in December I put it on hold in the library, and I just finally got it in March, so that should tell you it is popular. I had to give it back already because of course other people it's getting it. So what I would say overall is this one I didn't care for the ending as much. This is following art. An art exhibit, somebody discovered that piece of the part was actually human bone. So there's that, oh, let's protect this, we don't want anybody to find out, let's try and solve this. Let's hope that when we do our actual DNA tests and everything on this, that it's not really a bone, that kind of deal. But this man decided that he wants to go out to where the artist was living before she passed to talk to this woman who is connected to the artist. And she lives on an island secluded from everybody, quite a few distance, and he thought this was a safe idea to go visit this woman. It was creepy, but it was also like, you get whatever you ask for in this situation. So I did like how it panned out. I did like how the story itself is very much predictable in terms of you kind of know what the deal is, but not in terms of who is the bone belong to kind of deal, which is, I thought that was a nice twist to the story. But again, the ending, something about the ending, now I do like an open ending, but I felt like there was too many things that I wanted to answer for, that the ending was just like, why? That kind of deal. But other than that, it's an okay. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. It was just like, side book. Alright, so let's get to the physical ones I own. So the first one will be the subscriber page. So this is also a library book. It is one of those library books that I'm going to appreciate from my library, because they did not have this, but they did able to outsource it from a library, from a community college in my area library. This is considered a modern classic because of the time period. I think it was released. This was published back in 1960. Yeah, and so this follows. It is a psychological suspense. So you're following the mind. You're in the mind of this man who is living in weird circumstances. It's also set in the 1950s. So, you know, back then when people can have this double identity that people would never know, because there was not a lot of ways to find out people's true identity, kind of deal. So in this, he is living in this housing situation with other people that he kind of had this friendship with. He also was like had a home, because he met this woman, and this woman did the no and say I love you kind of deal. But a month later, she's married to somebody else, and he's like, you're going to end that marriage. We're going to be in this house that I'm creating for you, this life I'm creating for you kind of deal. So there's that little mental thing that's happening with this. When I was reading this book, I was like, where are we going with this? What the hell y'all got me reading? Because this was a subscriber pick, so it's one of y'all, you know. However, the twists and turn and the things that was happening in this book, I was like, oh, this is good. I was here for it. I was really like, but it also made me think about those people who are, where they're involved in someone's, you know, death, but they're telling you it was an accident. And in this book, you can tell there's an accident. However, because of their behavior, because of them constantly lying about things that they don't even have to lie about, you're not going to believe that it's the accident kind of deal. And this is what you get in this story. I was like, what? But I really was here for it. I was here for it. I was really here for this book. I love this book. I just thought it was just so different from what I normally read. Then we have, of course, Miss Barbara Neely, and this is the last book in the series. It's 4 books in the series, and this was the last one, guys. Blanche Passes Go, and I love how this connects. You get to really know Blanche in this. I think all the other books, you know, she's always chasing a case, always trying to figure something out, always in somebody's business. She's like the older, nosy person in this storyline. You know, and in this case, you really feel for her, because you realize what had happened to her, what her true reason for escaping the town that she grew up in, and then she's back there. But of course, Barbara had to put in a murder mystery in this, so there's a murder mystery in the book in terms of that. So you're getting both story of her and also the murder mystery. And of course, she does in a way that you think you know who the person who did it, but you really don't know until the end, like who really did it. And I love that about the storyline. I'm so sad because I really gonna miss not having this book anymore. For the last 4 years, I've read 1 book per year in March, and it's done. I don't know. Y'all let me know what else, you know, like series I can do that I might really like, that is old. Like, I love reading backlists on some of these, and this is a backlist book. So yeah. Then I had to read book 4 in the Walter Mosley Black Betty. This is a Easy Reality series. There's 15 books in the series. I got a long way to go, guys. I need to start reading more than just 1 a year. But I like this. Again, Easy's always caught up in some mess that people want him to help, but it also hinders him. It also put him in danger, and he really was in danger in this. I mean, thank God I know it's 15 books in the series that he gonna survive, but he really got himself in some mess in this. I like how, you know, the stories are being told. I love how fast paced it was. You really like, there's just always something going on. So it's like, this one of the book you're gonna read real fast because there's always something going on. Easy's a character. Mouse showed up. I love Mouse. Mouse is just wicked in this, and I don't care. I still gonna love Mouse and his crazy antics. But Mouse is out. Mouse is out of prison. Mouse is like, yeah, who did it? Who put me in here? So I really enjoyed this, and I look forward to reading more. Then we have a popular book. Everybody talk about this book. I was here for this mess. This is not like the writing is so great. This is like a masterpiece. No, it's a mess, but it's a good mess. I am here for the good mess, and this was a good mess. I was here for this. I was a true fan of Miss Frida McFadden. This is my second book from her. This gives me who done did it, why, how. True bitch. Like, there's a character in this. Real bitch. And I love that. I love where an author can write females who are going through some stuff, but don't paint them so much as a victim that they're so like fragile. And nah, not in this. They were doing a lot. They were doing a lot, and I was here for it. I would say read it. Yes, it's a popular book, and sometimes popular books can be a certain way. And then also the beginning gives you that whole scratch your head, like, why is she in this mess? But think of it. This is a character that has nothing. Living in the car, had a criminal record. So she's going to put herself in a situation that a normal person would have said, hell no, I got to go. So think of it in that case. So if you could get past that and read, you'll find that this is messy, but this is good. All right. All right, guys. So my scarf is falling off. I love these silk scarf. I have so much of them, but they never stay on my head. All right, then we have another new release, and that is Chimamanda Ngozi. This is the Dream Count. This book was also on, I think, the long listed on the Women's Prize. It didn't make the short list, but it long listed. I would say this is a book that is so much going on. Now, I love a good interlock story. I love a story with multiple characters that just kind of fused together. And in this case, I do feel like some of the characters need their own story, and I think that's why it was, like, to me, a strong 3 and higher, because I feel like maybe 3.5 stars, something like that, because I felt like I loved the writing. I love each character's story, but I felt like they were incomplete. Like, I wanted to know more. So in this, you follow this one woman here, and she's the everybody surrounds her. She is the character who's just talking about her, the life she's had. She's in her 40s, no kids, and not married, and you know, thinking about the past relationships she's had. So you get in a walk. So at first, at first I was thinking this is a contemporary. It felt very contemporary, but as the story goes on, you realize it's very much a literary fiction. But I do like the story for her best friend, who's, you know, now becoming a single mother. How did that happen? That kind of deal. The story around that. And then you have the cousin who's very much has made it, and there's the whole idea of if you're a woman and you're successful, the only way you're going to make it is if you did something with a man. A man put you in that position, kind of deal. And then you have the housekeeper that had the most tragic story of all of them, but in this case you really feel sorry for her, because you realize that she is going through it, but there's that moment of, you know, do I get justice, or do I protect and be able to have a means to take care of my family? But then there's always also that idea of, because I did not live, my life wasn't perfect, and I've probably made bad choices, that this was okay. Like, I'm not deserving of justice because of that. So this really toys with so much, and I like that you know, Chimamanda really does have stories that are surrounding women's struggle. But at the same time, for me, it felt like, no. I needed you to back off a little with this. I needed this to be focused on more on, can I get this character full story? Can I get that character full story? In this case, I think the interlock took away from some of it not being better. And I guarantee you, she probably could have had it longer because of how these characters are. But then it would have been like, oh my god, it's a thick book. So that's the only thing I could say. And the more I think of it, because as I still think of the story, I still, you know, feel like I read this pretty much earlier in the month, but it's just something about the story that makes me still think of certain things that happen in this. And I think as a person who can relate to some of it, where I'm unmarried, no kids, and I'm at that age, so it has me thinking about a lot of stuff, and I appreciate this kind of writing, but nevertheless, I think for me, some of the characters need their own story. That's the best way to sum this up. And the last book I read was a popular book last year, The Gods of the Wood, and this is Liz Moore. Now, Liz Moore now is an author that I've read. This is the second book I read from the author, and this book is like one of them books where, like, where my belt? Some people just need their ass whooping. That's how I felt. Because you got this young girl. She is a teenager. You know, she wants this certain kind of life. Her mom is not quite right in the head. And then she's disappeared. But the thing is, she disappeared at the same camp that her brother disappeared many years prior. And so there's that, oh God, not again. So these people are now like trying to investigate, trying to get on top of it, trying to figure out what's going on. The whole community is involved because keep in mind, this camp is a camp that feed a lot of people family. So this is not a good look for them. So the story became more of not just the girl, but what really happened to that boy? Who really did it? Did they get the right person? So you're following all of that. You're following like this one character, the council, the camp council or whatever she's supposed to be. I forgot. You're following her. The detective is a female. And then you're following the mother's story who is mentally unwell. So these are the three main characters you really get in this. There is a girl that's supposed to have been a friend of Barbara. But you know, Barbara missing. Barbara out there. Barbara missing. We don't know if she dead or alive. But Barbara to me just did a good ass whooping. That's how I felt. That's how I felt. Whatever. But it's like they dig in and they're discovering things. This is one of them books that there were so many people that you felt was a suspect. Like you're like, no, you did it. No, you did it. Both of y'all did it. All y'all did it. That's just how I felt. But that part of me was just like, this was a bit much. Then it just was long. I felt there's parts of this that was just dry. Like you just like, oh God, when we gonna get to some good stuff? And that's what I felt about this that didn't make me like jump on my skin about it, even though the ending was like, I still feel like I needed my belt. I needed my belt for that ending. But overall, it was an okay read. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. It's just in the middle for me. It's like a 3.3. I would say a 3 stars. Like there's parts of this book I'm like, I'm rooting for, but there's parts of the book that's just like, speed up. We're too slow. All right. I got it out my system. All right. All right. So that is all the books. I'm looking forward to this month. I got some classics. That's going to be read this month. I did get one modern classic, modern classic in the mix. So I can't be mad about that because this is considered a modern classic. And Miss Patricia Highsmith, who knew? Who knew that I know quite a few of her books because they were movies. But you know, I'm gonna read some more of her. So thanks guys. You guys are the best when it comes to giving me subscribers pick kind of theme. So I'm going to end this here because, you know, the battery looked like it wanted to die on me again. I'm going to end this here. And let me know. Give me, like, best book you read in March that you want me to add to the jar. We still getting jar, you know, give me, because y'all didn't disappoint. Y'all haven't disappoint. Like, it's only one book in the last year, 2 years and 3 months that I've been doing this that I was ever disappointed. One book that I was just like, it was just not for me. But for the most part, you guys just give me books that I would have never picked up that I enjoy. So thank you for that. And I look forward to the next book. I already picked the book for April already. You should see the shorts for that. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.